Hello, parents and scholars. I hope that you are all doing well on this Thursday night. Sorry for the email I'm about to send out right after this video is done uploading, but I wanted to send you all a quick video letting you know what we've been up to in the classroom, as well as what to expect moving forward in these upcoming weeks. So, diving right in, we have been writing quite a bit in our ELA time. We've been breaking down what are the different parts of writing an essay as a whole and spending a few days on each section trying to wrap our minds around what each individual piece should look like when it's done properly. Now, your scholar should have written that should be in the keyword, written a 5-paragraph essay that they'll be turning in tomorrow for me. This is going to be covering either John Locke, Rene Descartes, any other Enlightenment philosopher, a classical figure, if they've gotten that approved with me. And so I've really enjoyed being able to see how your scholars have wrapped their minds around what it is that writing an essay should look like. And especially the process of revision has been really eye-opening, I think, to a lot of us inside the classroom, because we've been able to see the mistakes we make when we write and learn how to fix them. Now, part of ELA is the literature that we go through, and we've still been working our way through the Scarlet Pimpernel. I hope that if you've been staying caught up with that, with your scholars, that you've been enjoying that just as much as we have. I love thinking about the Scarlet Pimpernel as a type of classical Batman. The story is fantastic. There's mystery and twist and so many features that can capture minds. So we have finished up some pretty major parts. I don't want to put any spoilers in this video in case any of you are tracking along. Said, oh, Mr. Fote ruined the end of the book for me. Don't want that to happen. So you're going to have to ask your scholars what they've been learning with the Scarlet Pimpernel. I really hope that you do because it's really exciting. With that, we have been doing quite a bit with the French Revolution in our history unit, which has coincided nicely with the ELA programming at this time as well. Now, a lot of things that we've talked about right now are leading us up to the Reign of Terror. And that, if any of you are familiar, would be almost to a degree the second French Revolution after the Third Estate rose up against the established monarchy for different types of oppression that was being taken upon them for generations, quite honestly. Now, as we get into that, we're going to be diving into the ideas of what makes a republic and what makes a people governed well. We're going to be contrasting that as well with the U.S. government and saying, well, what are the ways that the U.S. government establishes a republic type of democracy, and what are the ways that it strays away from a hard republic like France was going for at the time? What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? And really breaking down how do we compare and contrast what happened in France at this time and the complete and utter chaos that the Reign of Terror was, and how has America been able to circumvent some of those disasters for their own country? Now, that all being said, there's a lot to French history, and a lot of people get killed during this point in time. So it's hard to keep up sometimes with all of the different faces and names and characters that gain power, lose power, different factions, different types of governmental organizations. France is really going through a lot right now. And so I hope that all of the scholars that have been part of that have really been enjoying some of the parallels we've been going through. Another focus that we've had in the classroom has been taking what's going on in France and then also talking about what's happening over in America at the exact same time. Trying to make sure that we can balance what's happening over in Europe as well as what's happening in the New World gives us a greater perspective as to the world as a whole. So, I hope that they have been enjoying that. I have, but we got to move on. So in math, we've been covering ratios and percentages. We've transitioned nicely out of the fractions that we've been doing and rates and understanding different types of speed as well as in our science curriculum as well. And right now we've just really been trying to do our best being able to find percents of numbers, being able to understand parts of totals, understand when totals are themselves parts of larger sums, and how that all works. Perhaps a good way to be able to talk about this with your scholar would be to go over sales when they go to stores and say, okay, this item is 50% off and this one is buy one, get one. We just talked about this in class and gave an example about comparative value, how those deals are ultimately the same thing if you spend the same amount of money, but one gives you an option to spend less at the same rate. So hopefully you'd be able to kind of explain some real life skills with them and help them to be able to understand that the way that we interpret value has a lot to do with how much we get for how much we spend and what percentages that we're working with there. Now, last but not least, we have been finishing up our cardiovascular unit in science, and we've been moving on to the immune system as well. We just started that today. So I posted a video not too long before this, which is going to be a review for that test because we're going to be doing a little bit of a retake on that just to be able to see if we can kind of learn the content in a different way. So that's coming up on Tuesday, but that video should be attached as well in this email. Take a look if you get a chance as well. It's about 10 minutes long, but it's well worth your time. I really tried to go through and eliminate everything that they wouldn't need to know for the test, as well as just main points for the unit as well. So I hope that all in all, things have been going well for you, that we have been we've been doing great outside of the classroom. I've talked with a number of you. Just getting to hear what's going on is truly a blessing to me. And so continue to let me know what is going on, how I can be helpful to you and your family. And yeah, hope you guys have a great Valentine's Day and a long weekend. So we'll see you when you get back.